I thought he had a lot of energy. He spent a great deal of time talking about the successes we've already had. He talked about very low unemployment, skyrocketing economy, and he also then talked about our military and the need to continue to build it. And then he turned and he started talking about the future. And I think his message about the future and how bright it was a good one to start with this evening. That's a part of the game in the State of the Union. That's always been the case. Perhaps a little more pronounced this evening, but it's always part of the game, and you badger it back and forth. But did we expect them to stand up and give him a great ovation? Of course not. Did we expect them to recognize our military men and women? Yes, and they did. What it will send is a message to the House that if they're looking at impeachment in the future, they do their homework and they actually lay out, just as the Founding Fathers wanted, a real case.
Well, I was looking for someone who was going to heal the nation, speak to every voice, every person that was in this country, that is in this country, all generations, and I'm disappointed that that was not what the president chose to do. He chose to offer a red meat, divisive, and exclusive speech, not an inclusive speech. I don't think people who are living in poverty, who have 3 and 4 jobs, who are looking for housing in an affordable price for them to be able to provide for their families, or those who are homeless, who may not have even had the opportunity to see this. I don't think young college students who are looking for a pathway to finish college with lower tuition and reduction of debt ever heard a word from this president. I'm disappointed that he spoke nothing of the Constitution. He didn't apologize to the American people for the behavior that caused him to be impeached, and he didn't say anything to the school children of America about the rule of law.
He's been tearing down our relationships with minorities. He's been tearing down regulations that will protect our climate. He's been tearing down our educational system, and yet he talks about a failed government school. It is the government's responsibility to educate our children. He abandons the responsibilities of this government over and over again. It was hard to take. I agree that we have a serious problem of opioid crisis, of addiction, and it is a public health crisis, so I was certainly pleased to hear the president raise it. Unfortunately, I felt like he just boasted of the numbers are going down, instead of saying what are we going to do to prevent it and to treat it and to put resources toward it and to destigmatize it.
I mean, I feel like I have questions for everything that he says, right? I don't believe his facts. When he talks about planting all these trees, I don't know if he's going to cut, someone's food stamps so that he can afford to pay for the trees. I just believe that Speaker Pelosi, she wakes up every single day fighting for the American people, figuring out what she can do, strategizing on how can we get this bill passed that would help millions of people. And it's very difficult, I'm sure, for her to listen to a speech that essentially doesn't include people and is full of lies.